Welcome back to First Take. In case you forgot, it is a Game 6 Friday in New York City. The Knicks are back at the Garden with the chance to close out this series against the Boston Celtics and find themselves back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since the turn of the century. Look who is here on First Take, a very familiar Knicks fan, of course. Spike Lee is in the building. We already asked this crew, so now we're going to ask you, what's going to happen tonight?
A W. We're going to win. By hook or crook, we got to do what we got to do, and I don't want to go back to Boston in Game 7. So let's just end it here tonight.
How are they gonna
Have you seen these things outside the Garden after?
the party's
Imagine, and I know I'm not the first one to say it, but when the Knicks win the NBA championship, they need the National Guard, the Marines. It's going to be...
We've waited a long time.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long. I was 5. I was 5 years old.
For the 72-73? Yeah?
You've got to enjoy it. You're too stressed out. You've got to enjoy this opportunity.
Once again, you're not getting it. We've been close before. You got to remember, I had the pleasure. I was at an event at the Disney up front the other day. And some young lady walks up to me and she wants to interview me or whatever, and she's on the red carpet and all of that. And she introduced herself afterward. She said, "Just so you know, I am the daughter of Dave Checketts."
Ooh.
Dave Checketts is the former president of Madison Square Garden, right? In the Knicks.
Put it together.
Right. Now, did he deliver a championship? No. But we all know that's because of Jordan and Olajuwon. Can't forget Olajuwon because the Knicks went there without him and John Starks. I won't.
Don't bring it up.
I won't bring it up.
Houston music.
My point is, it's been close. And Checketts did a masterful job of lying to us. He had us convinced at least three times we gonna beat Jordan. He had us convinced, and it didn't happen. So I'm just saying to y'all, please understand.
Who beat him though? Nobody.
I know, but we should have.
You know where he was born? Brooklyn, right there. Look out the window.
I'm fully
That's
aware.
where Michael was born.
I'm fully aware. He didn't give a damn about that when it came to going up against us.
Spike, I've always loved seeing you courtside, not just at Knicks games, but also at Liberty games.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to this squad, this iteration of the New York Knicks, who do you think outside of Jalen Brunson is someone that you gravitate towards that can be an X factor?
OG or Josh Hart. But I'm the only one at this table, this steam table that was at the Garden May 8th, 1970. I was 13 years old. I was there. 13 years old. My father's lawyer had season tickets.
That's right.
And he would give me tickets during the season. And he said, "Spike, if this series goes 7 games, you can go." I saw Willis drag his right foot out. Another thing I'd like to say, I've been to World Cups, Super Bowls. I've never heard a noise as loud when Willis dragged his leg onto that court. And he didn't come out with everybody because back then the knee was like this. So it takes a while for the drug go. And so both teams were doing the layups. And the entire Laker team froze. We're talking about Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and the rest of the team. They froze when they heard that noise and turned around
And watched
saw
it.
Willis drag his leg
Yes.
to the free throw line where his first two, left-handed, his first 2 shots.
That's right.
And then the game, his first 2 shots.
That's right.
Now, Walt Frazier has a different thing. Walt Frazier was
That's all they needed. Walt Frazier took care of the rest.
but he still says he says it lovingly, but it just wasn't. Why is it called the Willis Reed game?
That's right. I'm just saying. It's moments, man. It's moments.
I hope none of the current Knicks is watching this because you're just piling it on. You're piling it on.
Why would you hope? Why would you hope that? You don't want them to embrace the moment?
They got to be confident and thinking that they're going to win tonight's game. This isn't about 1970. This is about 2025.
I totally agree with that, but here's the flip side. There's nothing wrong with embracing urgency. Pressure breaks pipes. What are you made of? What are you made of? Boston showed us in Game 5 they ain't going out like that. We the reigning defending champions. You think you coming into our house with all these Irish pubs everywhere?
Without Tatum,
without Tatum. I don't give a damn we don't have Tatum. You know who we are, and they answered the call. Now it's the New York Knicks' turn. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Wendy.
So I'm curious then, as two people that have seen multiple decades of Knicks basketball, where would you grade this current squad? Because Stephen A is full of anxiety, but I feel like this is a team that has been embraced not just for New York. I'm a basketball fan, and I love what they built off of chemistry.
Agree.
Leon Rose.
I'll let you answer that first. I'll let you answer that first, because I got my answer. You go ahead and say it first. You go say what you going to say.
Ask me are the Knicks going to win.
You just said the Knicks are going to win.
Ask me if
the Knicks going to win.
Is the Pope Catholic? Did the Pope go to Villanova?
Hey,
I can leave right now. I can leave.
There's some anointing now for you guys.
Good energy.
There's some anointing happening over there.
I'm just going to tell you, Jalen Brunson smiled. Jalen Brunson smiled. This is going to calm everybody down. The other night, I don't even know if it was on the broadcast, but on the scoreboard, the game was over. They're at a timeout late in the game. Jalen Brunson.
Well, you talking about in Boston?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Jalen Brunson had fouled out. Jalen Brunson never smiles. He scores 45, he doesn't smile. He hits the game winner, doesn't smile. They put him on the scoreboard in Boston so the fans could boo him.
He waved it.
He smiled at him. Don't you worry about tonight. Jalen Brunson smiled at him. Chill out, buddy.
He's amazing.
I am not worried about Jalen Brunson. I have all the belief in the world
There he is. He's
that
smiling.
he is going to show up. I think you're missing it. Let me answer your question. Let me get deep here because it's going to hurt. You don't have to say this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. The Knicks have an opportunity to change my mind tonight. But I have watched them. And I veered back to normalcy when they won games 1 and 2 in Boston because I did not expect that. With Tatum on the court, with Brown on the court, and they went up 2-0 after 20-point deficits in both games. But I have to tell you, I have spent the vast majority of this season wishing Hartenstein, Randall, and DiVincenzo were still on this team. Because I saw the grit in the New York Knicks last year. And if Brunson doesn't get hurt and Hart doesn't get hurt, okay, I believe the Knicks were in the conference finals last year. I don't believe they lose that Game 7 at home to Indiana.
Fair enough.
Okay? So I'm thinking about that and what they would have been. They would have had more bodies. They would have been more physical. And they would have been more gritty defensively. And because of that, I have spent the vast majority of this season wishing that that was the case. Now, when they went in Boston, I'm like, wait a minute here. I'm seeing something. All right. And then obviously Game 4, after losing Game 3, I love that, okay? Then they get blown out in Game 5. Tonight's the night. I understand there's a Game 7, but my mentality is there is no tomorrow.
Yes.
Take them out now, right now.
Let me tell you this, though. It might be, we might see our guys in the finals.
I agree. That's what I'm trying to say. If you win the night,
it changes your mind.
If you win the night, listen, I think if you get pushed into a Game 7, it's too much. You're expending too much in a Tom Thibodeau system. I believe you got to end it quick. You got to take them out.
Tonight.
You got to take them out
Tonight. In the garden.
Tonight.
Well, there is a realistic chance, and I didn't want to ask this question, but Stephen A. told me I need to. So listen, there is a realistic chance. You got 2 games to win 1. Maybe you do have to go to a Game 7, and you got to go back to Boston. If that is the case, where are the feelings at?
We're winning tonight.
We're winning tonight.
Okay. I didn't even want to ask, but I said, why are we focusing on the Knicks?
Đấy, mình tiếp tục mình mắc. Cứ luân phiên từng mũi. Đấy, được một cái chuỗi như này. Bây giờ mình sẽ móc cho cái chuỗi này nó độ rộng lên gấp đôi nhé, gấp đôi. Mọi người móc cho mình 4 mũi bính. Rồi bây giờ móc xuống đây. Đấy, tiếp tục nhé, mình sẽ móc tiếp những mũi còn lại vào. Rồi mũi tiếp theo. Cứ luân phiên chờ đến hết. Tiếp nha. Mình cứ làm luân phiên từng mũi. Mũi tiếp theo. Mình gỡ thêm lên rồi nhé. Rồi bây giờ sẽ móc tiếp xuống. Đây này. Tăng cái độ rộng của nó lên gấp đôi rồi đấy. Mình móc tiếp nha.